Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. What a pleasure it is to recognize this entrepreneur. We've known her for many, many years, and it's been phenomenal to see her success, her growth, not only locally, nationally, but also her work globally. So you're going to meet her now. Her name is Bianca Bucaram, President, founder of the Bucaram Public Relations Group. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Murillo. It's been actually a great introductory story. You were one of my first job interviews in the city of Houston, and it is such a remarkable full circle moment here to, be reached out to and just to honor you for all of your amazing work that you've done in the chamber. And thank you so much for continuing to make our city profitable and to put us on the map in terms of what Hispanics are doing.
Well, thank you so much. Of course, it's teamwork. We've got a small but mighty team. Our staff is comprised of only four full-time people, but we do the best we can. And it's just a real delight to see the growth, not only of this chamber, but of individuals such as yourself, that you're doing work and how important public relations is. And so, from best practices, give us some advice for entrepreneurs and others that are looking for services and need to know where they start.
Yeah, I mean, PR is such an unsung service. Sometimes you don't realize that PR and marketing go hand in hand, but you see somebody digitally on an ad, but it's really what you think about them and how you feel about them that is what PR really does, right? It creates that awareness of who they are and why you love them, why you want to work with them, their reputation. So I work across all different platforms in the media. So from TV to radio to print, right? And it's all about that comprehensive 360 opportunity for someone to tell their story, right? Because it feels a little icky sometimes getting out there telling your own story. Like, gosh, am I the one patting myself on the back? Or how am I communicating that I have this expertise, whether it be in finance, in politics, in chamber opportunities, voicing a voice for the Hispanic community and getting that voice heard by a massive audience, right? So we have so many different channels, and it used to be a very traditional experience where you would sit across the table and you would shake somebody's hand and you would have a relationship that would turn into something. And how do you quantify that? Well, now in the digital age, it's crazy because you have to do both. You have to do traditional relationship building and non-traditional PR, which is the social media aspect. It's the Facebook posts, it's the Instagram posts, it's the YouTube and Zoom links and all of the above, right? Because we've become this hybrid society where people live and communicate online, but also do business in person. So PR is kind of the crossroads between how we do both successfully to get your story out and in terms of nonprofits, also raise money and awareness.
Yes, and so a lot of confusion around PR, marketing, and advertising. And to be successful, you need a little bit of both, or all three, if you will.
And it's difficult because advertising, there's always some sort of data, right? There's always something, a report you can pull, like I served this many ads to this many people, you're paying this many cents per click, blah, blah, blah. But how do you put a value in a relationship? I mean, you and I have built relationships together through the course of the years that now, there's different opportunities that come to the table, and X person, Y person will come to us and say, hey, I remember you from 10 years ago. You're my girl. Let's work on this together, right? So there's no value you can really put on a relationship. And you don't necessarily know when it'll activate. You just know that as you endorse somebody and they have the need, they'll remember you, right? And that's our
Well,
job.
and that these things take time, sometimes years before they end up with something that you can quantify, right? And so you go back to basics. Start with the relationship, your name, your branding, your marketing, your PR, your work. You have to work it. You have to be consistent. And I've heard you say you have to be your authentic self, whether it's on social media or elsewhere. You have to do all of these things. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs and business people who say, I don't want to do any of that. I don't
Well,
like
then
it.
don't be
I've
in
never done it
business.
before. I mean, so many people, right? But the truth is that we must change with the times, and the times have changed. And in many ways, it's a lot more work. At the same time, your reach is global, right? And so this is why the work that Bianca does with her Bucaram Public Relations Group is so important, because she's here to guide you on those steps to make sure your message is being translated and it's visible, and you're building your brand. And I think as Latinos, sometimes we have some challenges with that because it's not necessarily intuitive. However, successful people understand the importance of building their personal brand, their work brand, their company brand, and you're there, I know, Bianca, to help. So, on that note, you've had some great wins. Give us some example of some of the great things you've had happen this year.
Thank you so much. Well, this year, and thank you so much for your support. The Houston Business Journal recognized me as one of this year's 40 under 40, which I'm so appreciative of. The Houston City Book Magazine called me one of this year's 100 coolest people. But you know what? Much like you, I attribute all of that to service and service to the community, service to the globe. One of the nonprofits that I work with called the Global Empowerment Mission, we helped them raise $12 million in 1 week through the national media that we did. So we started, it was for the war in Ukraine. My client called me the day before it broke out and he said, Bianca, I'm about to do the most ballsy thing I've ever done. And I said, client, what are you talking about? And he said, verbatim, I repeat, my sources tell me that a war is going to break out in Ukraine. And I said, excuse me, what? And he said, I need you to get on your little software, call all the news desks in America, and let them know that the Global Empowerment Mission will be on the border of Poland and Ukraine when the war breaks out, and I will be available for interviews. I'm getting on the plane now. Talk to you in the morning. And I said, okay. So in blind faith, I wrote a pitch, I sent it out, no joke, woke up in the morning. The Today Show, MSNBC, CNBC, all of the above, CNN, Anderson Cooper had reached out because indeed the war had broken out. So me, I'm not a junior publicist at this point. I've been doing higher level things, but you want to talk about some real serious, like put your story together, get your facts straight, make sure the internet is up and working in a war zone when, it's really scary, right? That's why Wolf Blitzer has all these situation room, expertise because it's very scary. It's very nerve wracking. And you have to make sure, oh my goodness, are all my facts correct? Is all my data straight? Is all my technology working? It's really scary. So next thing you know, throughout the course of the whole week, I mean, we have just been interview, and people start building equity and trust in this company and this global nonprofit. And now we have over 5 warehouses across the globe and $100 million grant from somebody last year because of all of this amazing PR and the storytelling and the genuine need for people to see what these humanitarians are doing underneath the surface. So it's a
Well,
huge win, right? So
it's an
storytelling does work.
absolute huge win, and it certainly is a great story of a young woman I met many years ago who came to pitch her case at the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And I have watched you work very hard to get where you are. So proud of you, wishing you continued success. And that the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is right here for you. Have a great day, Bianca. Bye bye.
Thank you.